Hello everyone, and welcome to the first real video on this channel. We're going to be starting a playthrough of the game 5 Parsecs of Home 3rd Edition from Modifius Entertainment. This is a solo adventure wargaming game, as you can see on the book, and what you will need to start playing the game is the book, or the PDF of the book, a few copies of the various sheets that are in the back of the book, the world record sheet, the encounter log, and the crew log. We'll go into depth on those later. Some dice, both 6-sided and 10-sided, and some various miniatures for your crew and the opponents that your crew is going to have to face off against. Now, this game is designed to be miniatures agnostic, so you can use pretty much any minis that you have to represent pretty much anything in the game. I am primarily going to be using models produced by Reaper in their Chronoscape and their Bones sci-fi and modern lines, but don't be surprised if from time to time you see random fantasy miniatures thrown in there, or weird creature miniatures, depending on what type of aliens or what type of encounter is going to be going on. For this particular video, we will be going over the crew creation and possibly the first campaign turn. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into crew creation. Okay, crew creation in 5 Parsecs From Home is a very simple, or relatively simple thing. And you've got a few options to choose from for how you're going to generate your crew. You have what's called the first timer method, where you use purely 6 human characters. You can use the standard method, where 3 of your crew members are always human, 2 may be human or a primary alien, 1 may be a human or a bot. You can use the miniatures method, where you select 6 minis and then choose from the crew types to match your miniatures. Or you can use the random method, where you receive 6 figures and roll on the crew tables for each position. I've gone ahead and chosen to have 3 of my characters be human, 2 of them be primary aliens, and the final one to be another human. You can run with fewer than 6 crew members, but that makes the game a little bit more difficult. And since this is my first playthrough, I'm going to go ahead and go with relatively balanced game. So, human characters automatically start with a certain stat line. They automatically start with 1 reaction, 4-inch speed, no bonus to their combat skill, 3 for toughness, and no bonus to their savvy. So we're going to go ahead and mark that in the character sheet for the first 4 slots. With the first 4 slots filled in, now I just need to go ahead and generate the stats for my 2 non-human crew members. For my 2 non-humans, I'm going with the first race, which will be called Engineers, which have a very similar stat line to humans. They're slightly weaker, but they're also a little bit more clever. And they also get bonuses for making repairs to a damaged item, but they can never have a toughness score exceeding 4, even with equipment bonuses. My other crew, or primary alien crew member, is going to be from a species known as a Swift, who is a bit faster than everyone else, but otherwise pretty much the same toughness, savvy, and combat skill. Okay, before we go on to generate the stats and assign which figure is going to represent which character, I forgot to mention earlier, a Swift has a few advantages that other characters do not have. For example, during a battle, they can use their movement to glide down to a lower position at a distance that's equal to the distance in height. They can glide up to 4 inches when moving as a free option, and can jump from any height without damage. And if they're firing a weapon with multiple shots, they must direct every shot at the same target, which could be an advantage or a disadvantage depending on what kind of adversaries you're going against. Okay, so for our background table, our first character, which will be the captain, his background is going to start out as a... So he's from a lower megacity class. And as somebody from that group, he automatically gets 1 low-tech weapon. His motivation that was a 36, is adventure. Which gives him plus 1d6 of credits. And a second primitive or low-tech weapon. And for his class, that was a 5 and 9, so he apparently was a ganger at one time, which gives him plus 1 to his reaction, and another low-tech weapon. So I'm thinking that the miniature we're going to use for that is going to end up being this dude, our post-apocalyptic hunter. And his name, because he's got a mask on his face and those nice little goggles. We're just going to call him Shadow. Go with a code name that could be something they picked up in the gangs, or could be something that he just chose to use. Our second figure is going to have a background starting in the 50s. 58. He's going to be from a subjugated colony on an alien world. Which gives him plus 1 gadget. And for this one's motivation, 61, loyalty. Which gives him gives them a patron and plus 1 story point. And for his class, '74, he's a special agent. Now, some of these particular roles might seem to be contradictory, but there are ways you can come up with to explain why these individuals have the stats that they do. It's all about how creative you want to be with the background and how clever you feel like trying to be with your stories on this. Okay, in this particular one, we're going to go ahead and have our nice Mandalorian looking dude be the special agent man. Because he could be a covert commando, or he could be a spy. No one truly knows. Our next one's going to be the first lady in the group. 6, 5. She's from a research outpost. Which gives her +1 savvy. And 1 gadget. Her motivation to join the crew was 4, 1. So she's looking for truth about something. And that gives her gives the crew 1 rumor to start with. And +1 story point. Her class, 8, 3, she's a bounty hunter. So we're going to go ahead and go with this little lady here that actually looks like a soldier. And as a bounty hunter, she gets +1 to her speed. An additional rumor, and 1 low-tech weapon. And the next lady in the crew, don't ask me why I chose to do 2 dudes and 2 chicks, I literally do not know. Just, I picked models that looked cool. Okay, 86. She is from an industrial world. And that's the wrong one. Okay, she's from an industrial world, which gives her +1 gear. Her motivation, +42. She's also looking for the truth in something. Very interesting. And that gives gives the crew another rumor. And another story point. And her class is going to be 31. A primitive that really does not fit well with the model I chose to use there. So we are going to switch this little lady out for this one, who kind of resembles some kind of a comic book vigilante. But it shows like Firefly and some of the elements of the revised Battlestar Galactica. I can kind of see it. I'll go through and name those other characters here in a moment. So our engineer, who's the only model in the crew who does not come from Reaper. This guy comes from Mantic Games in their game Dead Zone. His motivation, 0, or background is 0, 3. So he's from a high-tech colony. And that gives him +1 to his savvy. And 1d6 credits. His motivation is 4, 3. Another guy looking for truth about something. Wonder what planet these people are from. Must be some kind of conspiracy nut bars in paradise. Okay, for his class, That's 0, 0, so 100. He's a scavenger, which gives him another rumor, and one high-tech weapon, which kind of fits for an engineer. And for the swift of our crew, alright, 79. He is from an isolationist enclave. Oh, crud. High-tech colony. Truth. And scavenger. Okay. Okay, our swift was from an isolationist enclave. Which gives 2. Did I read that right? Oh, 2 quest rumors. That's interesting. His motivation for joining this crew. 73. Okay. His romance. I'm going to assume he's just trying to be some kind of a swashbuckler among the crew, or among the stars, because I'm not sure how basically an intelligent pterosaur would have any kind of romantic attachment to one of the human crew members, unless it's something like puppy love. And that gives another rumor and another story point. And his class is 0, 5. So he's a working class bloke. And that gives him +1 to luck. That gives him 1 luck point. And +1 to his savvy. So now for everyone else's names. Because this guy is kind of reminds me of the Mandalorians from Star Wars, if they were in a more hard sci-fi design and not the science fantasy that we're all familiar with. Yeah, Varl Wren. Our little researcher bounty hunter. What was that chick's name? Vasquez. I'm gonna name this one in honor of the machine gunner from the second Alien movie, Emily Vasquez. Our little vigilante-looking chick. Amy Page. Our engineer, because the faceplate kind of reminds me of the Quarians from Mass Effect. Gonna be Railnar. And our Swift is gonna be Gunnar Took. Kind of a replay on Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, I know, but it is what it is. Okay. For equipment, Okay, the crew automatically begins with 3 rolls on the military weapon table, or can upgrade to a high-tech weapon. 3 rolls for low-tech weapons, 1 roll for gear, 1 roll for gadget, and then 1 credit per crew member, plus 1 credit for each crew member recruited once the game has started. So, first, we're going to start with the low-tech weapons generated by our captain. That gives a 3, 8. So there's a machine pistol in the stash. Seven. A brutal melee weapon. And we're going to re-roll that. And a handgun. And we're going to go ahead and erase all of those just to keep things nice and pretty. For our bounty hunter, who also generated a low-tech weapon, that's a 4, 0, so that's another machine pistol. She also generated a gadget, which gives them 0, which gives them a distraction bot. And that clears out the extras she gave to the crew. Our mercenary, or special agent looking dude, came with 2 gadgets, so it's 8, 9. So that gives him a stabilizer. And 3, 0, another distraction bot. Our Industrial World Truth Seeker, who I forgot to mark down what her final item was. Oh crud, I don't remember what she had. I'm going to re-roll for that. So 9, 3. Apparently she was a punk. So that gives her plus 2 XP. And a rival. But she also generated 1 gear for the crew. That is 7, 3. She generated a med patch for the crew, which I'm sure will come in handy. Our engineer came with 1 high-tech weapon. 0, 7. So that's a hand cannon. Okay, that's all the crew-generated weapons and equipment. So, for the 3 rolls on the military weapon table, it's 2, 3. So we got 1 military rifle. For the second one, okay, the next two we're going to go ahead and roll on high-tech because we had 2 savvy increases. Let's redo that. That's 3, 2. That means we got 1 beam pistol. And 7, 2, a blast rifle. On the low-tech weapons table again, we've got 4, 4. So we got 1 colony rifle. And then 3, 9. Another machine pistol. This crew really likes machine pistols. And the last one, 6, 4, is another colony rifle. For the last roll on the gear table, we've got a 1, 6, which is booster pills. And for our gadget table, we've got 3, 9, which is an insta-wall. Alright, that is all of our equipment. Our starting credits, we got 2d6 that we need to roll, so total of 10 credits. Plus the 6 for the crew, that is 16. So that starts them out not terrible. They've got 2 patrons to start with. 1 rival. 5 story points to begin with. That will hopefully be good. And a total of 8 quest rumors. Now, I will be honest, I don't know if quest rumors and rumors are a different thing in this. I'm just working off the assumption that they are the same thing. Now for their ship, which is this lovely little 3D print from a ship based off of something from Elite Dangerous. It will be named after we determine what type it is. Okay, 1, 4. A retired troop transport. So it has got emergency drives. And since it's a retired transport, we're going to go ahead and steal from yet another sci-fi franchise. Hopefully it lasts better than the one from the, from the one it's named after. Got 35 hull, and we've got how much debt from this big bird? 34. Okay, I'm going to pause the video again, calculate everyone's initial stats, issue out initial weapon load, and then come back to explain what the final setup is for everybody, as well as what the crew name is. So give me just a moment and I will be right back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the crew has been finalized for the first few iterations of 5 Parsecs From Home, hopefully. The crew name They are going to be referred to as the Star Seekers. They have 5 story points, 16 credits, 2 patrons, 1 rival. They owe 34 credits on their ship, and they have 8 quest rumors currently floating around in their pool. Shadow, the leader of the crew, is carrying a colony rifle and a machine pistol. He chose not to carry any additional gear and has 1 point of luck. His regular stats are reactions 2, speed 4 inches, no bonus to combat, 3 toughness, and no bonus to his savvy. Varl Wren, our human bounty hunter, is armed with a beam pistol and a colonial rifle. Again, he's carrying no additional equipment at this time. Wonder what he's hiding. He has 2 for his reactions, 4 speed, no bonus to combat, toughness of 3, and no bonus to his savvy. Emily Vasquez, our little bounty hunter from the research station, is equipped with a military rifle, a machine pistol. She has 1 reaction, 5 speed, no bonus to combat, 3 toughness, and 1 bonus to her savvy. She must have gotten used to having to sneak around and figure out who's going to try not to pay her for her bounties. Amy Page, our little truth-seeking gangster, is armed with a handgun and has no additional gear. Her stats are 1 reaction, 4 speed, no combat bonus, 3 toughness, and no bonus to her savvy. Rael Nar, our engineer, has got 1 reaction, 4 speed, no bonus to combat, 2 toughness, and bonus 2 to savvy. He is armed with a blast rifle and a hand cannon. Probably not someone you really want to get ticked off at you. Gunnar Took, our little swift, is armed with a machine pistol, and his stats are he's got 1 reaction, 5 speed, no bonus to combat, toughness 3, savvy of +1, and 1 point of luck, which Shadow also has 1 point of luck. Amy Page has 2 XP, and the only characters carrying equipment that isn't some kind of weapon is Rael Nar, who has a distraction bot, and Gunnar Took, who has booster pills and a distraction bot as well. So that is the Star Seekers for this particular moment in time. Let's put everyone on their stat line so people can get a nice little view of that. Now, I'm probably not going to try a run-through of the first mission yet, because I still have to generate the world that they're on and figure out what their patrons' information is. There is a final part to character creation that I did not do, simply because it doesn't really do anything or to add to any kind of bonus. So we're going to create we're going to check our crew table to see how they met and what they're best characterized as. So let's see how the crew met. So that is 0, 5. So Shadow went and hired this group of sociopaths. Actually, nix that. We're going to say Shadow hired Rael Nar, who then managed to convince use the 8, 1. Okay, so 81 is mutual protection. So 3. So for mutual protection, he brought along his buddy Emily. 5, 7, who randomly met. I'm going to redo that one and that one. Who randomly met Gunnar Took in a bar. Well, that actually explains the romance angle on this. Not going to ask any questions. 3, 8. Who went ahead and brought Amy Page along due to a common enemy that the two of them developed. Alright, 1, 4. And Varl Wren joined them for reasons that he is not going to go into. And the entire group of, this entire group of individuals are, they're in it for the credits. So they're either looking for truth or they're looking to get paid. I have inadvertently created the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we will see going forward just how things develop for this group of hopefully lovable misfits. But if you all have any suggestions for narration or just any random feedback, please let me know. Yes, I'm aware the sound quality is garbage. I am doing this straight off the camera only. I'll see how it goes moving forward. If it becomes too much of a problem, I might go ahead and just end up nixing this until I get better gear. You all have a great day, and thank you for viewing.